Hey, welcome into the Mystery Fifth Hour, presented by McCurry Van and Car Rental. Rockstars in the Little Box. That is E.G., Emily Grace McWhorter, Lance Taylor. I'm Ryan Brown. Thank you for joining us for the Mystery Fifth Hour. It's presented, as always, by McCurry Van and Car Rental, the car rental company you can depend on. All kinds of vehicles to choose from. Trucks, SUVs, and passenger vans. Easy to rent. In and out quick. Athens, Muscle Shoals, Huntsville, and Coleman on 2nd Avenue Northwest. Tuscaloosa, Skyline Boulevard. You can reserve your rental today, 256-559-1003, 256-559-1003, or McCurryRentals.com. Over the course of our history together, and E.G., this goes well back before you joined us, the Comedy Club has brought a lot of people into town, and we've had a lot of them in studio, be it in radio or here. Some good, some bad. Like, I can think of the goods.
Gary Owen.
We always loved Gary. Fantastic.
TJ Miller, I think, is great.
TJ Miller has always been really, really good with us.
The bad Chris Kattan.
The bad is Chris Kattan for sure. Where does Rob Schneider fall?
Bad.
Well, Rob was one of those ones that wanted to stay.
Well, he
Like,
wanted to talk baseball too, and
he's a big Giants fan.
Yeah,
right?
we don't want to talk baseball with you.
Yeah. Another good. Tom Arnold came in. Do you know who Tom Arnold is, E.G.? Do you know who Roseanne Barr is?
Yes.
Tom Arnold was Roseanne Barr's husband, but he himself is a comedic actor.
Okay.
Have you ever seen the movie True Lies?
No.
Okay.
Big Bully with Rick Moranis.
No.
I've played this game with E.G. Y'all aren't going to find what you see.
But I've seen Get Smart.
Get Smart, as
That's
she
my
said, is her
favorite
favorite movie. But Tom Arnold came in. He was fan. He did a whole hour with us, and it was a pretty wild hour. You remember that, right?
Yeah, it was like he had cut up Ritalin and done like lines of Ritalin or Adderall.
He was way up here the whole time.
Bert
Kreischer,
Yep.
fantastic.
Okay.
So most of them have been good. We had a new one as we taped this on a Friday, our Friday live show. David Ketchner came in, and if you don't recognize that name, that is a photo of him with me, Rockstar, and Lance. He played Todd Packer on The Office, and he was also on Anchorman. Mm-hmm. And is just a funny guy. He goes on the list as one of the more genuinely nice and funny people we've ever had.
Yeah, I would agree. I mean, and yeah, more so, as good as he was on the air, he was better off the air.
Yeah, off the air was just a really nice guy. Like E.G.
nice.
wasn't on the text thread. She didn't even know he was coming up.
No.
But you recognized him right away.
Yeah, so I'm sitting out in the lobby, and Kelsey had said something like, how did we get David Ketchner on? And it just didn't really click. Like, I know him as Todd Packer or Larrabee from Get Smart. And
her favorite movie of all time.
So good. And so all of a sudden he's walking in, the nicest guy in the world, but I'm looking at him like, Todd Packer? Like,
Yeah.
what
In a
are you
houndstooth?
in? Yeah.
Taller than I thought. I've always
Taller.
said you're sneaky tall.
Yeah, I'm sneaky
but
tall.
I think he's sneaky tall because most actors are
he's
really
a-
short.
He's a good 6'2", 6'3", right?
For sure.
6'2", yeah.
But he was so nice. And he has a daughter, Margot Grace. So he was like, oh my gosh, Emily Grace, Margot.
Yeah,
Grace.
really,
So
really nice guy. We were laughing. Someone mentioned it in the mybookie.ag chat room during the show. Like, if you're just coming to work in this building today and you see Todd Packer walk in, you're like, wait a minute.
Wait a second.
I've been working Todd Packer, is there?
That's just a guy that looks like him. There's no way.
It can't be Todd Packer, right?
So good.
So one of the genius, do you watch The Office?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, yes.
So one of the genius things to me behind The Office, and we brought this up in the interview with him, which you can go watch on demand, is they developed some really good bit characters, but they did not overuse them, and he's one of those. And I was talking like, that took a lot of discipline by them to know, hey, he's really funny when he comes on, but he's really funny because he comes on like 6 or 7 times.
And that's it.
And that's it, right? And Creed is the same way on that show. Creed's amazing. Creed's amazing because you almost never use him. And it's like when he shows up, you're like, oh, that was funny, right? But if he did that all the time, it would start to lose it.
Yeah, I would agree. Yeah.
And I think that's one of the genius things about that show. So on today's Mystery Fifth Hour, we're going to talk about those characters you loved or hated that were just bit characters.
Okay.
They barely came on a show or a movie, and you either love them or hate them, like Todd Packer. Now, you've watched a lot of shows and movies, and I've learned one thing about you. You've got very strong feelings about these things.
So I've got some that I love, and I've got one that I hate. I'll start with one that I love. And I think if this character was on more, you would absolutely hate the character. But Susie, Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Yeah.
Like, you just know that she is going to undress not only Larry, but Jeff.
She's got great style.
Yeah,
Oh,
and
God.
some of the worst style you've ever seen. You've never seen Curb, have you?
No.
You would look at her. She thinks she's got great sense of style.
Yeah.
It is so tacky. It's so over the top. She is mean as a snake, but she's an incredible character, and you might not even get an episode with her. You usually get 1 or 2 scenes with her, but she is so good. But if she was on it more, you would think that she probably would be too much to handle.
I think the same thing with Leon. I love Leon, but if they had a whole show about Leon, do you think that'd be
I don't
too
know.
much?
Leon is so
He
good.
is, but I just think they have the perfect amount with him living in the house with Larry.
How often is Super Dave Osborne? How often is that?
Not
character?
anymore.
Marty Funkhauser, he was
Yeah.
on there for a while.
Yeah, God rest his soul. That's what
Yeah.
you're saying. Yeah.
He's the one that had the golf tip that wouldn't give Larry the golf tip.
Yeah.
Yeah, he kind of, I don't know.
can't stand the voice.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
voice,
the voice
did
is
wear
a
me
lot.
out.
But I saw a scene on TikTok where he was going to, I think it was London for 3 weeks. They're at a dinner, and they asked the wife. I don't know what his wife said. See, I've never seen this show. I haven't watched this show.
Mrs. Funkhauser.
Miss Funkhauser, and they're like, "You're not going?" She goes, "No, I don't travel a lot." And Larry's like, "You should go to London this time of year. It's amazing." And he started selling. She goes, "You know what? I think I'll go." And he's like, "No, you cannot go." It's so funny. He completely talks her into going.
But Susie, if you watch the show, I think most would agree. She's a great character, and she is not used a ton.
yeah. What about you, EG?
Okay, so I actually made a list because I
I'm
want to
gonna
be
pull my
prepared.
phone out.
I do love the organization of
Yeah.
EG.
I do
Thank you.
too.
So, bad. Do you guys watch Modern Family?
Yes.
Have you
Yeah.
seen it? Alex Dunphy. I want to just
She's the smart one.
Is that
poke
the,
her in the
the
eye.
middle child?
Yes.
Yeah.
She's so annoying.
That's why I stopped watching Modern Family was the kids and Sofia Vergara.
Well, the kids,
like
we've always.
Sophia.
He cannot stand Sophia Vergara.
she's just too much.
I'm a
Yeah.
big Manny fan.
Yeah.
I can't stand Manny.
Yeah.
The kids, we all agree on this show because we all watch Modern Family.
Yeah.
The kids are really good till they hit puberty.
Yes, agreed.
No, but the oldest chick's not
Haley,
bad.
I love
yeah,
Haley.
but
But she
she's
was-
really sarcastic.
Yeah.
And I don't mind Luke, but at a certain point, Alex just she's so annoying. And I love that show, but she is like the worst kind of person to me.
Well, do you think the role, like her character, is to be annoying?
No, I think that they wanted her to be like now it's referred to as like a pick-me girl, where
Yeah.
it's like, I'm smart, I don't care, like me.
Yeah.
And she's so horrible.
Me.
Ugh,
Meh.
me. So that's my first one. Are we gonna keep going?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. You guys did not watch Gossip Girl, I'm assuming.
No.
Nope.
And I don't think our audience will.
I'm not going to be much
have
help to you
seen
on
it.
this one.
But Blake Lively, right?
No, I love Blake Lively in it. She does.
No,
good-
I'm saying
oh,
she
yeah,
was
yeah,
in it.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
Blake Lively's
I've never
in
seen
it.
an episode.
There was a character, Jenny Humphrey. She was a little sister, so I think maybe I have a vendetta against the little sisters.
You don't have a little sister
No,
thing,
I
I
don't.
guess.
I don't. I am the little sister. But she was so annoying, just horrible. She was actually Cindy Lou Who in The Grinch, same actor.
Okay.
Okay.
She was horrible. I have seen one episode of this show, but I was like, wow, you're the worst. Joffrey
Oh,
from Game of Thrones.
he was
Insufferable.
How often was he used?
great.
Oh, was
Like-
he?
Oh, what?
No, like he is despicable. Like one of the most hated characters in the history of television. I mean, he was used a lot because he was on the Iron Throne for a while.
Okay,
Yeah.
so
But just how despicable he was. He played it so well.
yes, I only saw one
And the actor's
episode.
name is Jack Gleason, and he just recently came back out of retirement, and he's a young kid, and did a movie with Liam Neeson about a hitman. But I thought he was great in the role. Like he is so hateable. You saw the one scene with the crossbow.
Yep,
remember?
I did. That's Joffrey?
I've seen literally one episode of Game of Thrones, and it was one of the earlier seasons, and that little blonde-haired, just I could say terrible things.
Well, he gets his, and I think
Good.
most people enjoyed the way he
Good.
went down.
Okay, my last one is Dolores Umbridge from Harry Potter. You guys aren't going to know her either. But she is like kind of that situation. She plays it so well that you just hate her. She's just, Hallie would know.
Yeah.
Hallie would know.
That's the one bonding one, not the one, but it is a bonding thing that my 10-year-old and EG have is their love for Harry
Yeah,
Potter.
we have fun
And
with
hatred for Dorothy.
And
No, Dolores.
Dolores.
Dolores
Does Hallie hate her
Umbridge.
too, you think?
Yes. Oh my gosh. for
Everybody
sure.
does?
Like more than Voldemort. You hate Dolores Umbridge.
More than Voldemort.
More than Voldemort.
Is that the one we don't say?
Yeah. He who must not be named.
Yes. All right, let's go back to you. You just did one.
Yeah, so Game of Thrones, picking that up. Rockstar Pedro Pascal, never in anything, right?
No, he's not doing anything.
You know, one of the first things that really he was recognized for is he played a role, the Viper,
Okay.
in Game of Thrones. And it's one of the greatest scenes, if not the greatest scene, fight sequence in the entire series. But his character was so freaking good. And he was just there And I would assume it goes deeper in the books. I'm not about to read the books because of how deep and detailed they are. But his character in the show was amazing. Pedro Pascal, as Viper, was awesome.
Well, something for me was a kind of a different answer, but somebody that I absolutely hated in the show. Like, I hate this character. I cannot stand this character. And then as the show goes on, you're like, this is one of my favorite characters. I love this character. I love his backstory. Jesse Pinkman. First 2 seasons where he's got the baggy jeans and everything, and just the drug dealer, I absolutely hated him. But as you see his backstory, and he kind of adapts. I'm just like, I love Jesse Pinkman. So I just thought, and crazy, great role, Aaron Paul, to be able to do that. Same thing with Walter White. Like, I hate him this episode, but okay, I can kind of sympathize with him this episode. My God, I hate him this episode. It's just interesting.
Yeah.
Well, Better Call Saul Nacho, I thought was a character that was great.
Was awesome.
Oh, fantastic. Yeah. Nacho was really, really
Not
good.
enough Nacho.
Yeah. I'll give you a actor that seems to get put into this a lot, but I've seen him at least in 2 things I could think of that I really liked him as a bit role. The actor is Stephen Root, and he always plays kind of like an eccentric.
He's a Shakespearean-trained actor. And
Is he really?
Milton.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of people remember him as Milton from Office Space. That's not really a bit role. I guess it's a bit role. I don't know.
No Country for Old Men. He was great in Barry.
Yeah, but how often do you see him in those? You know, it's like he shows up in this bit role and then he disappears for 4 or 5 episodes.
More so in Barry, he's a little more mainstream.
Yes, he has, and I watched Justified. Lance put me on Justified, and he plays a really small role in that, but he is so good at it.
Where he's got a gun under his robe all the time.
Yeah,
he's basically naked under the robe.
He's a judge that's naked under his robe, but he's always carrying a handgun somehow. But that's it. I don't even know if you can picture what I'm talking about. Have you ever seen Oh Brother, Where Art Thou?
Yeah, not enough to.
Okay. And I don't particularly care for that movie, but his role in it's pretty funny. He just plays like this eccentric, weird, kind of out there guy so well that he plays himself into all these roles.
Boardwalk Empire too, he was really good.
Yeah. I mean, I can't think of a role I've seen Stephen Root in that I didn't like him. News Radio, that's an old show with Andy Dick, Maura Tierney. Who's the main guy that's
Phil Hartman?
Phil Hartman was in it, but I'm trying to think of the actor's name, the main guy that was in it.
No, I forgot.
Joe Rogan. Wasn't Joe Rogan on that?
I think Joe Rogan was in it, yeah.
Always,
And Stephen Root's
Spin
like
City. I always get Spin City and that confused.
Stephen Root's like the station owner, so you don't see him all the time, but he's really, really good when he comes on. Forrester gave you one I thought you were gonna say, and I would 100% agree with this.
I love David Puddy from Seinfeld, but if you're thinking about side characters, I think Frank Costanza, George's dad, is one of the best.
Jerry Stiller?
Yeah.
Just one of the best characters. Like Seinfeld and Curb are just filled with side. Like I love Richard Lewis on Curb, but like Frank Costanza, and I love David Puddy. But Frank, God, he's so, and Morty Seinfeld. Give him a plum. Tell him to eat a plum. Just great line.
You do not like Seinfeld, but Jerry Stiller is. I
don't dislike it.
Yeah.
I just never really got
I'm getting
into
into it right now, actually.
Oh, you've just started watching Seinfeld?
Yeah, I started watching
Did Rockstar get you on it?
No, before.
Me and Ush always do the episode where we
y'all
see each
do
other. Scenes.
do a reenactment, do scenes.
it. Have you watched Curb?
No, I like Seinfeld because this is like gonna make me sound kind of weird, but I feel like shows that are in that era, so I guess maybe Curb would fall under this, Friends, Seinfeld, they're almost calming in a way because it
was when your parents were dating.
Well,
It's a simpler time.
but it's not like overstimulating like most shows are nowadays.
No,
like you
I
just
mean,
throw it on and it's like funny.
It didn't deal with current issues or anything like that. They were just funny.
They're just funny. It's light. The
you could
Office
just
is
unplug.
similar.
Is Euphoria not funny?
If
I've never seen it. And that's Dunaway's go-to.
If you want something not overstimulating, just go watch an episode of The Bear.
God, it wore me
relaxing.
out. It wore me out. I tried. Everybody swears by The Bear, so Jennifer and I
Got to work
watched
in the
it.
industry, man.
You see, I never
The
worked in the food
restaurant?
service industry. And I know, thank you, chef, is what they say. It drove
Thank
me
you, chef. Thank you,
insane.
chef.
It was like every other line was, thank you, chef.
It's like
Corner.
my pleasure.
Here you go. Thank you, chef.
Chick-fil-A.
Here you go. Thank you, chef.
Corner.
Yep.
I'm behind.
Yeah.
No.
I tried to watch it. It drove me insane.
Do you know anybody that's gotten a Chick-fil-A employee to say you're welcome? Do you get fired for that?
I don't know.
I don't know if they fire you.
But my pleasure.
Yeah,
My
but
pleasure.
they are ingrained to say my
Yeah, but
pleasure.
you've never gotten it.
No, I mean, I don't.
Or I haven't.
Well, maybe I don't know. Now I'm gonna test that.
I try. Every time I go,
How
I
do
try.
you try?
No, I
Do you
just...
say
because if
you're welcome? Say
No,
you're
I
welcome?
just say thank you as much as I can.
Right, and they
To
always
as,
come back
to
to
as many different employees as I can.
Yeah.
Whether they're
My
holding
pleasure.
the door, they get me a condiment, going through the drive-through. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
My
Yeah.
pleasure. My pleasure. My pleasure.
Always.
But Patrick Warburton is the actor that plays Putty. He has done several other things. I only see him as David Putty, though. Like if you go to Disney and you are
You
in,
don't see him as the Tick?
I do not. I see him as David Putty.
That's right.
You do a good Putty.
Yeah.
We'll come back later. We'll make out.
Feels like an Arby's tonight.
That's one of my favorites when he goes,
High five.
He goes, I'll come back later. We'll make out.
Yep.
He just tells her that.
You know where you're going.
But I mean, he's like, if you're at Disney, if you go to Epcot, there's the ride called Soarin', and he does the video when you're in the queue line. And I think he's doing it himself, but I always see him as David Putty.
He was in that show called Rules of Engagement with David Spade. It's a terrible sitcom about couples, but he's in that, and it's David Putty. Like, he's David Putty. So he's like something he can't break away from. I
mean,
can't see him in a serious role.
No, that's exactly
with that
right.
voice.
Like if he was in Schindler's List, I'd be like, why is Putty in Schindler's List?
He's got a list.
So it'd be like Ben Stein, right?
Yeah. Like he's just got that deadpan, just looking straight ahead, like no personality.
Well, you know, here's an actress in a show that I liked, and I wish I would have tapped out earlier. Lost, Michelle Rodriguez.
Oh yeah.
And I don't know if she can play likable in anything.
No, she's always like the badass.
Yeah.
She's always a badass.
She's got a chip on her shoulder. Do you guys know who Michelle Rodriguez is?
I know who the actress
She
is,
was
but
in a bunch of the
I never
Fast and the
watched
Furious
Lost.
movies. I know
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
But she was one of
I
those
can
in
picture
Lost when
her.
she took a shot to the gut. And, you know,
She
she was going to die. You were like, yes, get her out of here.
finally killed her.
Yeah.
Finally got rid of her.
Did you guys ever watch? I think we've talked about it. Burn Notice.
Yeah.
Okay,
never
Michael
did.
Weston's brother Nate. He was like one of those
remember him.
characters. He got killed. I'm sorry if you haven't seen it.
Oh, it's been a long time ago. USA, Burn Notice. It's
Yeah.
the actor that plays Sam. I've brought him
I
up to you
love
before.
him.
God, what is this? Bruce McGill, I think's his name.
Let me see.
No, Bruce McGill was in Animal House. You're talking about kind of the fatter guy with a mustache? You're talking about Bruce Campbell.
Bruce Campbell.
Bruce Campbell. That's
That's
it.
Army
Yeah,
of
Bruce
Darkness.
Campbell.
Yeah. But Michael Weston's brother, he was only there sometimes, but he was one of those characters like, ooh, it's going to be a good episode.
Yeah.
Like, he has some good antics.
I think Burn Notice had a good premise.
Yeah.
Michael Weston started to get. I can't remember the Jeffrey Donovan. I think's the
Yeah,
actor's
Jeffrey
name.
Donovan.
Jeffrey Donovan. He just started to get on my nerves for some
The
reason.
later seasons, that was
I
like
don't
my
like
comfort
Jeffrey
show.
Donovan.
You don't? What have
He
you
was
seen?
also in, Jeffrey Donovan was also in, no, I'm thinking Martin Donovan. Martin Donovan was in Line of Fire.
What role did he play?
No, that was Dermot Mulroney.
No, Dermot Mulroney was an FBI or was a
This
Secret
is-
Service agent. Yeah.
Wasn't Martin Donovan in Father of the Bride, maybe?
Oh, I love Father of the Bride. You know,
But
who's-
wasn't he the groom?
I don't know, but you know who's a great character in Father of the Bride?
Martin Short.
Well, yes, but the wedding planner turned baby shower planner.
That's Martin Short, isn't it?
Yeah, Frank.
Frank, yeah.
Frank.
And that is another example. He's very little
There's
used.
Martin Donovan.
Yeah. Dude,
Frank.
Yeah, Martin Donovan. What is he in?
This is Jeffrey Donovan.
Yeah, I've never seen that
He's
guy.
been in a lot of stuff.
Is he?
Yeah, I've seen
Oh,
that
no,
guy.
I know. So Jeffrey Donovan.
Do Jeffrey Donovan real quick.
Jeffrey
Roger.
Donovan was so good in Fargo. And not the movie, but I think
Yeah.
it was season 2 of Fargo or season 3.
And he was in Law and Order. Jeffrey.
Yeah,
Donovan.
Jeffrey Donovan, he can play bad really well.
He is so. Oh, I love Burn Notice. It's so good.
Oh yeah, yeah. So he was in. So he plays villain in
Fargo.
The
And
TV
he's
show.
really good, yeah.
Yeah, he's
He's
the
so
lead
good.
in Burn Notice,
Yeah.
and it's just something about the way he delivers his
Yeah,
lines.
he's
He always
deep.
talks through his teeth.
What is
and
it? Is
it
Burn
starts-
Notice? I don't even know what it's about.
He is. Go ahead.
I can literally recite the
come on,
theme
AG.
song. Hold on, let
The
me think.
theme song.
Like the
Burn
no,
Notice.
it's like when you're burned, you've got nothing. No cash, no credits, no job history. You're stuck in whatever city they decide to dump you in.
So
and
he's-
then Fee's like, "Where are you? Miami."
Was he government
He
black
was-
ops? He was like CIA
He
black
was
ops or
CIA,
something.
and he got blackballed.
He gets burned, so they basically cut him
They
loose.
framed him, though.
and try to frame him and act like he never existed. So now he's trying to chase down whoever burned him.
Right, by also doing side jobs around Miami.
Yeah, but he's got to do side jobs to make money.
So basically, Leonardo DiCaprio in The Departed, where he gets
a little bit, yeah.
just basically wiped out
Yeah.
of
and
existence.
then he like becomes friends with Sam, who's like a CIA informant,
Yeah.
and then Fee
Then he's got a
is an
girlfriend.
ex-arms dealer for.
Yeah.
It's so good.
So it's like I said, it's a good premise. He just kind of got on my nerves. A little bit for some reason.
Speaking of movies, though, with like a really small part, Tom Cruise in Tropic Thunder.
So good.
So freaking good as a
Yeah.
producer.
Yeah. Just so random, though. It's like you're just watching this movie. Tom Cruise has
It's like,
maybe,
boom.
what,
Yeah.
2 minutes?
Maybe.
2 minutes of lines, and you're like, it's Tom freaking Cruise.
I saw an interview with him, and they said when they offered him the role, he said, "I think he said the one thing I want fat hands."
Okay.
So I
Fat
want you to give me
hands?
fat hands for this character. I'm seeing fat hands. They had to do these prosthetic hands, and I think he was the one that says, "I want to dance to a rap song," or like he was the one that came up with it. I want to be able because he
There had to
rehearsed.
be an influence, though,
Yeah,
you know.
but he was like, "I will take this part, but as long as you give me creative output, that I want to be fat hands and be able to dance."
Fat
Fat
hands and people.
hands.
What a weird request. All right, so you can hit us up in the comments with some of your favorite bit actors. David Ketchner, we all give him 2 thumbs up, though. Such a nice guy. We appreciate you joining us on the Mystery Fifth Hour. McCurry Van and Car Rental, the rental company you can depend on, is McCurry. Don't forget all their locations: Athens, Muscle Shoals, Huntsville, Coleman on 2nd Avenue Northwest, Skyland Boulevard at Tuscaloosa, 256-559-1003, or McCurryRentals.com. Please give us a thumbs up on YouTube. Make sure you subscribe and set your alerts on our YouTube channel so you always know when we're live. And follow us on all social media at Next Round Live. Thank you for joining us on the Mystery Fifth Hour.